56 new cases reported in a day, bringing the total active cases to 3,742. This is as per the Union Health Ministry's Sunday report. Additionally, one new death was reported in Kerala. The World Health Organization is urging Southeast Asian countries, including India, to step up surveillance and protective measures due to emergence of the JN.1 subvariant. Dr. Poonam Khetrapal Singh, WHO's regional director, emphasized the need for strengthened surveillance, sequencing and data sharing. Despite the low current risk of JN1, precautions are crucial, especially during the holiday season. Vaccination remains crucial, with approved vaccines protecting against severe outcomes, including JN.1. Dr. N.K. Arora from INSACOG highlighted that no extra vaccine dose is currently needed for protection against JN.1. The surge in cases led to increasing testing, with Thane, Odisha and Maharashtra reporting instances of the JN1 subvariant. Health experts reassured that despite its higher transmissibility, JN1 is not causing severe infections or hospitalizations. Authorities in Mizoram urged adherence to COVID norms during festive seasons, and Union Minister Shripad Nayak reassured citizens and the tourism industry, stating there's no need to panic, citing the nation's successful past efforts in combating the virus. Maharashtra is preparing with ventilators and oxygen cylinders in light of 50 new cases, 9 caused by JN1. Now, there Kerala also reported 128 new cases. Meanwhile, Mizoram urges COVID-appropriate behavior during the festive season. Bihar has also directed increased RT-PCR testing at the airports. Moving on now, in another terror incident reported from Jammu and Kashmir, terrorists on Sunday shot dead a retired senior superintendent of police, Mohammad Shafi Mir, in Baramulla city. According to the police officials, the shooting took place while Mir was offering morning prayer at a local mosque in the city's Ganta Mulla Bala area. The J&K police has cordoned off the area and also launched an investigation. Meanwhile, the security forces are continuing their rescue operation in the Rajouri district in an effort to hunt the terrorists. A total of 4 soldiers were martyred in the deadly Rajouri terrorist attack. A team of officials from the National Investigation Agency are at the site and they began their search operation. The search operation has been going on from December 21st after a terror attack on 2 army trucks claimed the lives of 4 army personnel and injured 3 others. The Indian Army is also continuing an inquiry into the deaths of 3 civilians in the Poonch-Rajouri sector.
विषय है, हालांकि वो भी वहाँ पे टूट गए हैं। फिलहाल जो है यहाँ पे दादी जो है वो लाए गए। और
इस तरह की घटनाएं जो हो रही हैं कश्मीर में, तो पिछले 6-7 महीनों से कोई इस तरह की घटना नहीं हुई थी, वरना 1-2 साल में यहाँ टारगेट किलिंग हुई थी और उसको फिर हुकूमत ने बड़ी मुश्किल से उस पर कंट्रोल पाया। उधर राजौरी पुंछ में जो हालात हैं वो भी अच्छे नहीं हैं, तशवीशनाक हैं। उसके लिए मैं बार बार कहता हूं कि अवाम को भी और सभी पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज़ को भी और हुकूमत को भी, रियासती और मरकज़ी हुकूमत को भी इसमें इकट्ठे होकर इसमें एक दूसरे की सूरत से निकलेगा। एसएसपी को मारना, मस्जिद से निकलते ही या घर से निकलते ही नमाज पढ़ते वक्त ये भी एक तशवीश है कि कहीं न कहीं फिर से हम कहीं पीछे न जाएं, इसलिए इस चीज़ को यही रोकना चाहिए।
External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar is scheduled to visit Russia from the 25th of December to the 29th of December as part of the ongoing high-level exchanges between the two nations. During the visit, he will hold discussions with the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Industry and Trade, Denis Montrov, to address the economic engagement matters. Additionally, Jaishankar will also meet his Russian counterpart, Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, to discuss bilateral, multilateral and international issues. The visit will also emphasize the strong people-to-people and cultural ties between India and Russia, with engagements planned in Moscow and St. Petersburg. It underscores the stability and resilience of the India-Russia partnership, characterized by the special and privileged strategic partnership. Various aspects of bilateral relations, focusing on trade, energy, defense and connectivity, are expected to be addressed as the annual India-Russia Leaders Summit is deferred this year. The Sports Ministry, after suspending the Wrestling Federation of India, has urged the Indian Olympic Association to form an ad hoc committee for governance. The letter from the Under Secretary to the Government of India emphasized the need for corrective measures. Before the elections were held, the WFI was run by an ad hoc body formed by the IOA after former President Brij Bhushan stepped aside. The suspension followed the WFI's hasty announcement of organizing U15 and U20 under 15 and under 20 nationals. Now, in an official release, the Sports Ministry said that the announcement for the national competitions was hasty and that due process was not followed. The ministry detailed that the announcement by Sanjay Singh was against the rules, as a minimum of 15-day notice was needed for the wrestlers to prepare. Following Sanjay Singh's election as WFI president, Sakshi Malik resigned from wrestling in protest, while Bajrang Punia returned his Padma Shri award in solidarity. Meanwhile, leader of Bharatiya Kisan Union, Yudhvir Singh, expressed dissatisfaction with the government's decision to suspend the newly elected body of the Wrestling Federation of India. He urged clarity from the government, emphasizing the need for a clear decision.
उसमें जो कारण दिया गया, एक तो दिया गया है कि 60 टर्म में आपने अंडर 15 और अंडर 20 नेशनल का घोषणा किया। दूसरा रीजन दिया गया है कि ऑफिस आप उसी पुरानी जगह से चला रहे हैं। तीसरा दिया गया कि नंदिनी नगर में आपने क्यों दिया, और चौथा दिया गया कि ये डिसीजन, उस डिसीजन में लोचब नहीं मौजूद थे। यही 4 डिसीजन दिया गया है, मतलब 4 नियम, 4 कारण दिया गया है। उसका रीजन ये था कि 25 यूनिट इलेक्शन में जुटी, वहां इकट्ठा हुई थी। उसके बाद हम लोगों ने एक मीटिंग लिया वहीं पे, इलेक्शन के बाद फिर वहीं मीटिंग को एडजर्न करके इलेक्शन के बाद सारे लोगों की एक मीटिंग हुई, जिसमें यह निर्णय लिया गया कि यह इसी कैलेंडर ईयर में करा दिया जाए, जिससे कि बच्चों का साल न बर्बाद होने पाए। समय कम था, उसके लिए सारे लोगों ने समर्थता जाहिर किया। इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर नंदिनी गोंडा में था, जहां की 2 नेशनल एक साथ कराया जा सके, इसलिए वहां पे नेशनल सबकी सहमति से अलॉट किया गया। सारी स्टेट फेडरेशन की अनुमति, सहमति दिया, तब जाकर के वहां अलॉट किया गया।
फेडरेशन का नेक्स्ट मूव क्या होगा इस फैसले के खिलाफ? क्या
नेक्स्ट मूव है, अभी हम लोग जाकर के सरकार से बात करेंगे, मोदी जी से बात करेंगे, खेल मंत्री से बात करेंगे, क्योंकि बच्चों का भविष्य खराब हो रहा है।
नई फेडरेशन जो हुई है, उसी दिन उनकी विदाई कर दी थी 21 तारीख को ही, और आज उन्होंने अपना बता भी दिया कि हमने कुश्ती से संन्यास ले लिया है। साक्षी मलिक ने भी कुश्ती से संन्यास ले लिया है। तो दोनों जो जिसके ऊपर आरोप लगा था, जिसने आरोप लगाया था, दोनों लोग संन्यास ले लिए। तब दोनों लोग शांति से नई फेडरेशन को चलने दें, बच्चों का भविष्य अच्छा होने दें, जिससे कुश्ती जो रुकी हुई है, कुश्ती की एक्टिविटी आगे बढ़े। बार बार कुछ नेशनल होना होता है, तब तक एक्टिविटी रोक दी जाती है। रह गए उनके नहीं रिश्तेदार की बात जो उन्होंने कहा है, वो क्षत्रिय समाज से आते हैं, मैं भूमिहार समाज से आता हूं, तो मैं उनका रिश्तेदार कहां से हो जाऊंगा? करीबी का जो आरोप लग रहा है, मैं भी उसी फेडरेशन में ज्वाइंट सेक्रेटरी था और वो प्रेसिडेंट थे, तो एक प्रेसिडेंट और ज्वाइंट सेक्रेटरी के बीच में रिश्ता रहता है कि नहीं रहता है? दोस्ती का रिश्ता होता है, बातचीत का रिश्ता होता है। ये तो रिश्ता था उनसे। अब अच्छा हुआ कि बुरा हुआ, अब जो बच्चे इस साल सर्टिफिकेट नहीं पाएंगे, जाके उन जूनियर बच्चों का आप इंटरव्यू ले लीजिए, उनसे पूछ लीजिए कि अच्छा हुआ है या बुरा हुआ है। ये वो बताएंगे कि अच्छा हुआ है कि बुरा हुआ है। चलती हुई कुश्ती को रोक देना, निर्धारित कुश्ती को रोक देना, कुश्ती में राजनीति ना आए ना, खेल को खेल की तरह रखा जाए। खेल मंत्रालय ने भी कुछ कंफ्यूजन में डिसीजन ले लिया है। बच्चों का भविष्य तो इस साल का तो खत्म हो गया। अंडर 15 और अंडर 20 के बच्चों का तो इस साल का सर्टिफिकेट गया, इस कैलेंडर ईयर का। अब इसके लिए यही चीज जाके हम उनसे बात करें कि आगे कुश्ती सुचारू रूप से चल सके, जिससे कि बच्चों का भविष्य अच्छा हो। अगर मंत्रालय हमारी बात को नहीं सुनेगा तो लीगल ओपिनियन भी लिया जाएगा। सेकंड ऑप्शन लीगल ओपिनियन का है।
सरकार से ये अपील है मेरी आप लोगों के माध्यम से कि ये लुका छुपी नहीं, जो खेल पहले खेला वो खेल ना हो जाए। सरकार बड़ी साफ तौर पे आया कि वो एक गलती हुई है सरकार से। उन्होंने इन बेटियों को कहीं ना कहीं जो आश्वासन दिया था, चूक हुई है, उसको पूरा करने में, उसको पूरा करें, स्पष्ट करें। इसको रद्द करके दोबारा से चुनाव कराएं नए अध्यक्ष का, तब बात पूरी होगी।
Let's now take a look at the story behind Brij Bhushan Singh's retirement from Wrestling Association politics. Following the allegations against the former WFI chief, BJP strategists anticipate the opposition leveraging the WFI issue in the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. BJP also feared from negative impact on India's image in international sports. Therefore, late night, party president JP Nadda called Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, who was in Gonda. JP Nadda asked Brij Bhushan to immediately go to Delhi and meet him. JP Nadda took information about the matter and asked Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh to go to the media and clear his position that now he has no connection with WFI nor any interference. After which Brij Bhushan told the media that now he retires from wrestling and he no longer has any connection with the Wrestling Association.
संजय सिंह भुइहार बिरादरी के हैं, यानी कि मेरे वो रिश्तेदार नहीं है। आनन फानन में पुरानी कमेटी को एक निर्णय लेना पड़ा, अंडर 15 और 20, क्योंकि 31 दिसंबर को इनका ये सत्र समाप्त हो जाएगा। उसके बाद अगर ये टूर्नामेंट होता है तो उनका एक साल खराब हो जाएगा। इसलिए सारी फेडरेशनों ने मिलकर ये फैसला लिया कि किसी तरीके से खेल का एक वातावरण शुरू हो, और नंदिनी नगर में इसलिए रखा गया क्योंकि हर फेडरेशन के लोगों ने हाथ खड़ा कर दिया कि 4-5 दिन के अंदर हम कोई व्यवस्था नहीं कर सकते हैं। उस मीटिंग में एक तरीके से मेरे विदाई का, जैसे परंपरा होती है, कोई अध्यक्ष रहता है और तो उसको एक तरीके से जब वो छोड़ता है अपना कार्यकाल तो एक विदाई समझ लीजिए और 2-4 शब्द बोलना पड़ता है। तो इस नाते मैं भी वहां पर गया था, और ये बच्चों का, 15 साल के बच्चों का और 20 साल के बच्चों का साल खराब ना जाए और खेल का वातावरण फिर से शुरू हो, इसलिए नंदिनी नगर में इसे कराने का फैसला आम सहमति से लिया गया। 25 के 25 फेडरेशनों ने अपनी लिखित और मौखिक दोनों सहमति दे रखी है। खैर, मुझे इस पर कुछ नहीं कहना है। और मैंने 12 साल तक कुश्ती के लिए काम किया। अच्छा किया या गलत किया, इसका मूल्यांकन समय करेगा। और एक तरीके से कुश्ती खेल से मैं संन्यास ले चुका हूं। मतलब कुश्ती से मैं अपना नाता तोड़ चुका हूं। अब जो भी फैसला लेना है, सरकार से बात करना है या कानूनी प्रक्रिया को अडॉप्ट करना है, ये चुने हुए जो फेडरेशन के लोग हैं वो अपना फैसला लेंगे। मैंने कुश्ती से संन्यास ले लिया है। मेरा लोकसभा का चुनाव आ रहा है और भी मेरे पास बहुत काम है। तो अब जो भी कहना होगा, सरकार से बात करनी होगी या कोर्ट में जाना होगा, इससे मेरा कोई लेना देना नहीं है।
We now slip into a quick break. We'll be right back with lots more on the other side. Stay with us.
वर्ष 2070 तक भारत नेट जीरो का लक्ष्य हासिल करेगा।
There's certainly a wall of capital coming into the clean tech, climate tech space, not just in India but across the world.
This and more, streaming on world's first news OTT, News 9 Plus. Download now.
The Indian Navy is set to commission its newest stealth-guided missile destroyer Imphal at Naval Dockyard, Mumbai on the 26th of December 2023. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will preside over the ceremony as the chief guest. This marks the formal entry of the third Visakhapatnam class destroyer, crafted by the Indian Navy's Warship Design Bureau and built by Mazagon Dock Limited, Mumbai, into the Navy's fleet. A plane carrying 303 Indian passengers, including 11 unaccompanied minors detained near Paris due to suspected human trafficking, is free to leave today. A French court ruled on Sunday, but it is not clear if and when the plane which will return to India. Previously, French judges cancelled hearings for passengers on a Romania-bound aircraft due to procedural irregularities. After 3 days in detention near Paris, the passengers resumed their journey. Some sought asylum, while the plane's destination remained unclear. Legend Airlines, the aircraft company, denied involvement in trafficking. Amid the ongoing investigation, Indian embassy staff ensured the welfare of the nationals involved, thanking French authorities for their efforts over the Christmas holiday. Now, allegations hinted at the passengers' intended illegal entry into the US or Canada via Central America, prompting suspicions of human trafficking. Moving on now, Delhi NCR continues to grapple with severe air pollution marked by an air quality index exceeding 400 as reported by the Central Pollution Control Board. Despite the enforcement of GRAP 3 regulations, last Friday, the air quality in Delhi remains hazardous. The overall AQI level in Delhi at 6 a.m. today was measured at 401, indicating a critical category. The persistently poor air quality has led to health issues for residents, including burning eyes, respiratory discomfort and throat irritation. Urgent measures are required as the air pollution has triggered the third consecutive day of the AQI exceeding 400. The situation is prompting authorities to implement restrictions, including a ban on certain types of vehicles and construction activities to curb pollution levels. Following the latest measures, non-essential construction work is now prohibited in the Delhi National Capital Region. Under the GRAP, the Commission has also restricted the use of BS3 petrol and BS4 diesel four-wheelers in Delhi and surrounding areas. Governments are instructed to enforce these restrictions. The Central Commission attributes the decline in air quality to unfavorable meteorological conditions, including fog and haze with low wind speed. In the vibrant city of Ayodhya, Uttar Pradesh, preparations for the grand inauguration of the Ram temple are in full swing. Dedicated workers are meticulously cleaning marbles and stones, ensuring the construction materials reflect the sanctity and grandeur of the upcoming temple. Simultaneously, Ayodhya is hosting an awe-inspiring exhibition showcasing meticulously crafted idols of gods, all made from clay. This event not only celebrates the rich tradition of artistic craftsmanship, but also adds a spiritual dimension to the atmosphere, resonating with the impending inauguration of the Ram temple. The city is adorned with creativity as skilled artists paint mesmerizing depictions of gods on its walls. These intricate paintings serve as a visual tribute to the divine, creating a captivating ambience that echoes the cultural and religious significance of Ayodhya just before the historic moment of the Ram temple inauguration. Let's now shift our focus to Israel and Hamas and see what's been happening on that front.
The following content may contain visuals that are disturbing, graphic, or sensitive in nature. Viewer discretion is advised. This material is intended for mature audiences and may not be suitable for all viewers. Please exercise caution while watching, and if you find such content distressing, we recommend discontinuing viewing. This disclaimer is provided to ensure awareness and to prioritize viewer well-being.
It's been 80 days since Hamas's first attack on Israel. Since then, nearly 21,000 Gazans have lost their lives in the conflict between Israel and Hamas. Let's get you the latest update from the war zone on your screen. At least 68 people killed in central Gaza in the airstrike, according to Gaza Health Ministry. Health officials, now 166 people have died in Gaza in the last 24 hours. This too is as per the Gaza Health Ministry. Hearts are in Bethlehem amid ongoing war. That is what Pope Francis has said. Israeli forces are intensifying operations inside Gaza. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said 15 Israeli soldiers have been killed in Gaza since Friday. This is according to the Israeli Defense Forces. Meanwhile, talking about death toll, around 20,400 Palestinians killed in the Gaza war so far. Bombings and fighting were reported in northern Gaza as Gaza health authorities and the Israeli military both announced mounting death tolls.
Dense smoke rose over Gaza on Sunday. Israel says it has achieved almost complete operational control over the northern part of the densely populated enclave. But residents and Palestinian media have reported bombings in parts of Jabalia and continued fighting. And meanwhile, the death toll continues to rise. A Gaza Health Ministry spokesperson said on Sunday that 166 Palestinians had been killed in the past 24 hours alone. More than 20,000 Palestinians have died in the past 11 weeks of fighting. Tens of thousands have been wounded, with many bodies believed to be trapped under the rubble. Israel has long urged residents to leave northern parts of Gaza, but its forces have also been bombarding targets in the center and the south. Palestinian medics in Rafah, on Gaza's border with Egypt, said an Israeli airstrike on a house had killed 2 people. In the southern city of Khan Yunis, the Palestinian Red Crescent reported an attack on one of its main bases. The Israeli military has expressed regret for civilian deaths, but blames Hamas for operating in densely populated areas or using civilians as human shields, an allegation the group denies. Israel's military also said 9 of its soldiers had been killed in the past day. That brings combat losses to 155 and marked one of the highest daily death tolls for Israeli forces in the ground assault so far.
אנחנו נמשיך להילחם עד לניצחון המוחלט על החמאס.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the war was exacting, quote, a very heavy cost from us, but that, quote, we have no choice but to continue fighting. Speaking at his weekly cabinet meeting, Netanyahu also dismissed reports that the U.S. had convinced Israel not to expand its military campaign. The Wall Street Journal reported on Saturday that U.S. President Joe Biden had persuaded Netanyahu not to attack the militant Hezbollah group in neighboring Lebanon out of concerns it might launch an attack on Israel.
ישראל היא מדינה ריבונית.
But Netanyahu said that Israel is, quote, a sovereign state and that its decisions in the war are not, quote, dictated by external pressures.
הן לא מוכתבות על ידי לחצים חיצוניים.
According to Gaza health officials, at least 68 people have been killed in an Israeli strike in central Gaza. The strike reportedly occurred in the Maghazi refugee camp east of Deir al-Balah. The 68 fatalities include at least 12 women and 7 children. Earlier, the Gaza Health Ministry provided a death toll of 70. The ongoing conflict, in fact, has devastated parts of Gaza, resulting in the death of approximately 20,400 Palestinians and displacing almost all of the territory's 2.3 million people. The war exacts a very heavy price from us, but we have no choice but to continue fighting. That is what Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had earlier said. During a weekly cabinet meeting, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu addressed false publications claiming that the U.S. has prevented and is preventing Israel from conducting operations in the region. Netanyahu dismissed these claims, stating that Israel is a sovereign state and its decisions in the war are based on operational considerations. Listen in.
Last night I spoke again with President Biden. I appreciate the US's firm stand in the Security Council, a stand that supports our war effort. I told President Biden yesterday that we will fight until a complete victory, however long it takes. The United States understands that. I have seen false publications claiming that the US prevented and is preventing us from operations in the region. This is not true. Israel is a sovereign state. Our decisions in the war are based on our operational considerations, and I will not elaborate on that. They are not dictated by external pressures.
As the Red Sea crisis worsens, exporters face challenges in ensuring smooth goods transportation. Recent weeks have seen intensified Houthi militant attacks in Yemen, ostensibly in support of Hamas amid Israel's Gaza offensive. This has disrupted a key trade route connecting Europe and North America with Asia through the Suez Canal, posing a significant threat to global trade flows.
As the crisis in the Red Sea deepens, exporters are wondering how to get their goods to market. Iran-backed Houthi militants in Yemen have stepped up attacks on vessels in the area in recent weeks. That's to show support for Hamas during Israel's military offensive in Gaza. The attacks have disrupted a key trade route linking Europe and North America with Asia via the Suez Canal. It accounts for about 10% of global GDP. Now major shippers including Maersk are sending their vessels around South Africa instead, a safer but much longer route. That has exporters scrambling for alternative air, land or ocean options. One German freight firm said customers were looking at so-called intermodal routes. For example, ship part of the way, then plane for the final leg. But air cargo capacity is limited and it costs many times more than shipping by sea. Analysts at S&P Global say that leaves major retailers like Walmart and IKEA looking vulnerable to disruption. The crisis doesn't look set to ease anytime soon. On Wednesday, the leader of Yemen's Houthis warned that they would attack any US warships that attempted to intervene.
We
will not stand idly by if the Americans attempted to escalate further and commit foolishness by targeting our country or waging war against it. Any American targeting of our country will be targeted by us.
سنجعل البارجات الأمريكية والمصالح الأمريكية
And we will make American warships, interests, and navigation a target for our missiles, drones, and military operations.
وعملياتنا العسكرية.
Washington has promised to establish an international naval task force to protect merchant vessels. But shipping firms say they are in the dark over when or how the force will operate. Meanwhile, they've started hiking fees for cargoes passing through the Red Sea area. United Nations trade expert Jan Hoffman says it all spells trouble for consumers, albeit not immediately.
So if you have systematically higher shipping costs for manufactured goods, the consumer goods that you and I buy in the shop, it takes many months to really translate into higher prices. But it will come.
The extent of the impact will depend on how long the disruption lasts. One US-based shipping firm told Reuters it was advising clients to prepare for at least 90 days of trouble.
We now slip into a quick break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
वर्ष 2070 तक भारत नेट जीरो का लक्ष्य हासिल करेगा.
There is certainly a wall of capital coming into the clean tech, climate tech space, not just in India but across the world.
This and more, streaming on world's first news OTT, News 9 Plus. Download now.
It was my 14th birthday.
On birthday, daughter waits
home missing father. He was carrying a cake for his daughter.
49-year-old Birmingham-based
Indian diplomat vanishes.
He was grabbed and bundled into a car by 4 assailants.
KLA claims responsibility demands Kashmiri separatists.
Maqbool Bhatt's release.
Goli maro, aur phek do. And within 3 days, they shot him dead.
Abducted diplomat.
Found murdered in Leicestershire.
I said, who ordered to kill him? To me, he said, yes, I ordered it.
And he never came home.
Stop searching, start streaming. Download the world's first news OTT, News 9 Plus, ahead of the curve.
The scale of the attack was something that we were surprised at. David Hadley was a double agent. The Americans did not want him to be fully exposed, so all that he probably shared with the Americans was not shared with us in terms of intelligence. If we had that, I'm sure that we would have been able to deal with the situation far better.
This and more, streaming on world's first news OTT, News 9 Plus. Download now.
जानना है तो देखिए, समझना है तो सुनिए, सीखना है तो पूछिए, और कमाना है तो खरीदिए। जानकारी, सलाह और निवेश सब एक ही सुपर ऐप पर। पैसे का सवाल है तो जवाब है मनी9। आजादी पैसे की, अभी डाउनलोड करें।
Welcome back. A growing threat prompts shipping companies to evade Red Sea routes. Hapag-Lloyd, a major German container line, announces plan to reroute 25 ships by year-end due to escalating attacks by Houthi militants. Hong Kong's OOCL is also making a similar move. Here's a full report.
More shipping companies are set to avoid the Red Sea following attacks on merchant vessels by Houthi militants. German container line Hapag-Lloyd is among the latest to say it will steer clear. 25 of its ships will be rerouted before the end of the year. Hong Kong's OOCL is making a similar move. Ships will have to take longer routes to avoid the hotspot, and that could roil supply chains worldwide. The Suez Canal route accounts for about 12% of global trade. Costs will jump too, with the price of shipping a container from China to the Mediterranean up 44% just this month. Experts say anything that is moved by sea, from toys to food and clothing, could be at risk. Concern over disruption to supplies is driving commodity prices higher too. Metals prices rose Friday, as did benchmark oil prices. Crude jumped around 1%, though traders say the impact on supplies should actually be limited. Relatively little oil is shipped through the Red Sea. Much now depends on the International Naval Task Force being set up by Washington. The Pentagon says over 20 countries have signed up to take part, though some did not want to be named. Vessels from the US, British and French navies have already shot down Houthi drones in the area. On Thursday, UK Foreign Minister David Cameron met his Egyptian counterpart to discuss the crisis.
It's absolutely essential that those maritime corridors, that the free movement of ships, of goods, of manufacturers, of oil, of world trade, that they keep going.
The crisis grew out of the war between Israel and Palestinian militant group Hamas, which runs Gaza. Yemen's Houthis have threatened to target all ships heading to Israel in response.
Southern Mexico's Tapachula witnesses a mass migration as thousands set out for the U.S. Sunday saw a hopeful departure of thousands from Tapachula, southern Mexico, aiming to reach the United States. Among the leaders were migrants bearing across the Mexican flag and a banner reading "Poverty Exodus." The caravan represents individuals like Jose Santos from Honduras, a former security guard fleeing threats of violence from MS-13 gang members back home. Santos seeks refuge and safety in the United States. Polish farmers have officially concluded their blockade at the Medka-Shahini crossing, marking an end to the disruption of lorry movement between Ukraine and Poland. The Ukrainian Border Service confirmed the resolution, stating that truck traffic has been finally restored. The blockade, which had caused a temporary halt in cross-border lorries, came to an end, as reported by the Polish border guard. This timely resolution brings relief to the affected transportation route, allowing the resumption of normal operations. Toast to a hassle-free holiday season as major distillers Diageo and Pernod Ricard bring the bar to you with ready-to-pour bottled cocktails. Major distillers want American drinkers to sip their old-fashioned and espresso martinis this holiday season. Unlike the usual canned options, these bottled delights hold a generous 750 milliliters of top-notch spirits. Perfect for festive gatherings, hosts can now effortlessly serve these chic concoctions, making them a trendy alternative to the traditional wine offering. Diageo and Pernod Ricard aim to shake up the holiday table with this convenient and sophisticated twist on classic mixed drinks. Cheers to a season of simplicity and style. Initial results from the Democratic Republic of Congo's presidential elections are emerging with accusations of rigging. Incumbent president is leading based on votes from Congolese living overseas. Main challengers include Moise Martin and Nobel Peace Prize winner Dr. Denis. Results from the 44 million voters within the country released starting Saturday. Logistic challenges include late start times and delays in delivering materials affecting polling stations. The Electoral Commission extended voting to accommodate all eligible voters. The election's aftermath has prompted 13 embassies, including Germany and France, to release a joint statement urging restraint. Foreign election observers from the Carter Center call for increased transparency as the vote counting process continues. Some opposition candidates are calling for a rerun amid election disputes. Other opposition candidates are planning a joint protest next week. Delays during the election day and alleged irregularities have raised concerns, with provisional results expected by the 31st of December. The president-elect sworn in on the January 20th next year. A peaceful protest in the Serbian capital spiraled into clashes with riot police. Thousands gathered in opposition to the ruling Serbian Progressive Party, expressing discontent following the party's landslide victory in recent parliamentary elections. Eyewitnesses reported police using pepper spray as tensions escalated, where protesters there attempted to breach the premises housing the local election commission. This particular incident took place at Belgrade's City Hall. Some demonstrators scaled the building, shattering windows in a show of defiance. Take a look. The SNS secured 46.72% of the votes in the snap election as confirmed by preliminary results from the State Election Commission. The situation remains tense as of now as both protesters and authorities navigate this turbulent aftermath. EU Foreign Policy Chief Josep Borrell has expressed deep concerns over the upcoming June elections for the European Parliament. Borrell fears that voters may be influenced by conflict such as those in Russia, Ukraine and Israel-Gaza, leading them to support right-wing populist parties. Stressing the election's critical nature, Borrell urges an informed electorate, expressing particular concern about the conflict's impact on the EU's future. He emphasized the need for a swift change in Ukraine and doubts Russian President Vladimir Putin's willingness to halt actions. Borrell highlighted the election's significance, paralleling them with the US presidential race. On the night of the 23rd of December, Santa Claus embarked on his annual journey from the Arctic Circle to bring Christmas joy to children worldwide. In the chilly surroundings outside Santa's residence in Finland, families gathered to enjoy Christmas songs and say their farewells to Santa. Prior to boarding his sleigh, Santa delivered a heartfelt message urging everyone to prioritize children's well-being and embrace peace after what he referred to as a stormy year.
Stop! The most important, of course, is the well-being of the children. So that would be the goal for all of us.
Christmas magic in the air.
So I think you have... At the moment, there are too many children around the world who live in poor or even dangerous conditions. We should make all possible things to make them feel safe. This has been a stormy year again. And another wish for me is that people could live in peace around the world. So it's time to go, I think.
Okay!
Yes.
Now, Christmas Eve on Florida's Cocoa Beach, Surfing Santa hit the waves. In its 15th year, Surfing Santa Day saw hundreds of surfers, a few elves and enthusiastic onlookers gathering for the beloved annual event. Dressed in vibrant Christmas beach attire, participants brought the holiday cheer to the waves. What started as a casual family beach day has evolved into a cherished tradition, blending Florida's sunshine with festive Christmas vibes. The event unites locals and visitors, offering a unique celebration that embodies the spirit of the season. Well, that's all we have in this edition of the Bulletin. Thank you very much for watching. You have a blessed day ahead. This is me, Neha, signing off. But before that, a very happy Christmas to all of you.
I recently received a friend request from Mahira Sharma. Now, we seem to have a lot of friends in common on social media, particularly from the military veterans community. But something about her didn't quite add up. So we decided to investigate. Now, honey traps as an espionage tool are nothing new. They've been around for centuries. But Pakistan's ISI, their spy agency, has been perfecting honey traps in the virtual space. Our story takes you inside Pakistan's honey trap machine.